have to interrupt this program to bring you some breaking news.
Back in the day, Toonami was your after-school vibe.
Stay behind me!
This is trouble. I can feel it.
Prepare yourself, sailor!
Now we're taking you back. Toonami Rewind premieres May 31st at 5 p.m. If you squint really hard, they almost look new.
I'm so glad to be alive.
Only on Adult Swim.
Welcome to the channel, everybody. Today we are diving into the world of nostalgia, anime, cartoons, and how Cartoon Network is winning over millennials with the current and future program blocks. So I was hesitant to actually make this video. Got a weird sign on eBay though. When I was going through some listings, I happened to come across a Nintendo Power magazine. Forget which issue it was, but it covered Pokemon Ruby Sapphire. It so happened to be on the back of that page I was looking at the listing was an ad for Toonami, which discussed their 5 to 7 p.m. lineup of afternoon cartoons, which at that point I saw as a sign. I took that sign and here we are with this video today. So really hope you guys enjoy this. If you do, please feel free to drop a like, sub. I appreciate it a lot. It means a lot. We can have more content coming like this. Diving in, we're going to be talking about Cartoon Network and their understanding of the power of nostalgia. Things such as CRT TVs, 90s, early 2000s gaming, TV programs. They are hitting all points with that. They're doing their best job to make sure we feel our childhood, things that we miss in our childhood, and they're bringing that to the forefront when it comes to this TV program. For instance, August 2023, Cartoon Network launched Checkered, which for those who may not be aware of, it includes shows such as Dexter, Eddy and Eddy, Grim Adventures, Courage, Samurai Jack. Essentially starting at 5 p.m. Eastern time. These cartoons air throughout Monday through Friday, and there's 2 hours where it's just nostalgia. The bumpers or the ad placements are a bit of old school Cartoon Network feel, if that makes sense. So this program has been going strong, and I have been actually somebody who grew up watching these shows. I've been tuning in pretty frequently to check these out. Now, I have not watched Cartoon Network at all really in the past decade, maybe decade and a half, but to be fair, this is something that has gotten my attention. And again, there's more than just the cartoons themselves. I can go to Hulu, I can go to HBO Max to view a lot of these cartoons. It's the feel of it, the bumpers, segments in 2 different cartoons that kind of resonates with me, if that makes sense. It catches my attention, I'm there. So when I'm walking on the evening or cooking dinners, I put it in the background. That way I can kind of have something to watch as well. And again, it's not that I don't have access to these cartoons. It's just having that feel of watching it live on TV brings a different sense to me. Now, Cartoon Network is taking this up a whole nother notch. They just announced that starting May 31st, they will be airing Toonami Rewind. And what Toonami Rewind is the same thing, but just with classic anime. Again, as somebody who grew up in the 90s, early 2000s, anime was a big part of my upbringing. Anime such as Sailor Moon, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z Kai.
I don't know.
Which I know Dragon Ball Z Kai, there's a bit of hesitancy with some people. I personally prefer Dragon Ball Z Kai than nothing, if that makes sense. I know some people prefer the original, but again, we don't know what's going on in the background. We don't know if there's any licensing issues with the old one, music or anything else like that. So again, I'd rather take Kai over nothing.
Excellent argument. Approved.
But this gives a good opportunity for people to get familiar with these original anime. Of course, we have the internet nowadays, but again, a lot of kids don't get on the internet. Some kids are strictly TV, and this is bringing a new light to some of these older classics. Now, when it comes to if there's additional anime being added or additional time, that's something we have to see. I know personally with Checkered, they've rotated quite a bit of cartoons out. I know Samurai Jack was just added recently. It was, I think, on Fridays, and now they'll move it to Thursdays because of Toonami Rewind. But there's a potential that we could eventually see different anime. For me personally, One Piece. I would love to see One Piece in there. I think that's a good anime to start with. And then as far as time-wise, of course, if we could, I would prefer to have both Checkered and Toonami Rewind in one night. I know Adult Swim is very, very, very set on having King of the Hill, but to me personally, if we can move King of the Hill back a little bit, add in some, Toonami Rewind after the Checkered Pass stuff, that would be the perfect lineup for me personally. But, another thing is I'm unsure, there might be information online, I just didn't see it, but if there's going to be any classic Toonami bumpers associated with these shows, if I were to guess, I would say so. They would have their own original bumpers, kind of like what Checkered Pass has currently with their bumpers for current lineups that we're seeing with the cartoons. But yeah, having my homie Tom there talking to us, I'm gonna love it. The only thing is, I do hate that it's on a Friday. Usually that's a day where I have stuff to do after work. And I'm not usually tuned in as much, but anything can happen. We'll see what goes on down the road. So overall, I'm impressed with the stance that Cartoon Network and Adult Swim have been taking. The decision to move Adult Swim to earlier time frame. I know Eastern time is starting at 5 p.m. Central time is 4 p.m. 5 p.m. works well for me personally, but I do get that a lot of people get off at 5 o'clock. So maybe the first 30 minutes, 40 minutes are usually missed by a lot of people. But overall, I'm impressed. I want to see what they do with this. So that would be all for today. Please let me know what shows you would like to see in Toonami Rewind. Is there any other days that you would like to see Toonami Rewind in? Would you like to see it replace things such as King of the Hill? Please let me know in the comments. Also, please feel free to drop me a like. It helps out a lot. Subs, they help out a lot. It gives me information that you guys want, stuff like this, and I'm glad to provide it. But yeah, I appreciate everybody